Okay. So without further ado, I will hand things off to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Joanne. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I just wanted to sort of start with a Happy New Year. Hope everyone had wonderful holiday celebrations and starting off the new year right. It always comes to be the time where do we or don't we set some resolutions? Resolutions, interestingly enough, as I was preparing this program, I looked up the definition of resolution, and the word resolve comes up. So, it made me think that, are we trying to resolve something? Are we trying to fix something that maybe we needs fixing or not? Or are we just making a resolution that kind of sets the pace for the year? So my question is, do you make them? Should you make them? And if you do you stick to the ones that you've set? I started looking up some statistics on those as well. And, you always see the commercials on TV or whatever for the gyms, how, you got to get in, everybody's got the resolution to get into the gym, new deals and prices for the new year. But really what I wanted to talk about was whatever your resolution is honestly your own personal, thing that you should really take into consideration, but really just something to better you, whatever that looks like. So, as we kind of go through the motions here, and I'll go through some of the tips and suggestions and some of the health benefits like Joanne was mentioning, you just sort of think about those things and how will it be a better you in the version of 2022. So I would like to say, let's resolve to health. Let's resolve to your health. I'll resolve to my health. Let's resolve to, make this year be a better outlook on our health. Again, however that looks to you. Maybe you're already very physically active, so that's great. Keep it up. Resolve to continue doing that. Or maybe, you're just not as active as you should be. So let's resolve to change that a little bit as well. Maybe it's to be eating healthier. Especially around the holidays, we all tend to eat some of those heavier, maybe a little extra cookies every now and then in the holidays, or a lot of the times in the winter, we have what we consider comfort foods. And Joanne and I actually did a program a while back based on healthy versions of our comfort foods that can still be very comforting and nourishing, but a healthier version of it. But once in a while, having those foods that are not the greatest are fine as well. It's just resolving to make the notion that you're going to be better than, don't only eat unhealthy foods. Know that you're going to kind of balance it and keep everything in moderation. So maybe, one of the things we can resolve to is also bettering our mental health. That's really over the last, 18 to 24 months now, we've all been in this sort of health and illness related issue going on worldwide. So our mental health has really taken a big stress on that as well. Some of us are now back to virtual like this. We're not really, certain offices and things are not really opening up to have a lot of public in and out. So that can actually stress on your mental health as well. So there's some tips that we're going to discuss about trying to de-stress and keep ourselves kind of calm and overall have a better mental outlook. Maybe it's even just fitting in some downtime for yourself, not necessarily anything for anybody else. You just have to kind of take the time to regroup, refocus, and make sure what you're focusing on is yourself, and make, changes or little adaptations, not necessarily big changes. We want to make sure as we're doing these things that we remember to keep it simple, keep it manageable, and keep it attainable. By setting really grandiose resolutions, they're often harder to attain. So if we can go step by step and take one or two little things and make those adjustments, you'll have better success. Ooh, sorry about that. So let's jumpstart your health. There's no time like the present, right? And we could say that for, January, we could say it for August, we could say it for October, whatever time it is, no time like the present. Let's get moving, let's get things changing. To make those lasting change, as I mentioned earlier, those little small steps are important, and setting your goals to be reasonable. We don't really want to have lofty huge, unattainable, never going to get there. We want to say, okay, this week I'm going to take one more walk a day, 10 minutes outside, let my body and my mind refocus, and that 10 minutes will be me time. So that's a whole lot of different things. That's getting exercise, that's mental health, that's me time. That's sort of a bunch of little different resolutions all in one. You can also look at sort of evaluating what it is you might want to change. Maybe that's your resolution. I don't really know what I want to do, but what can I do? I'm going to sit down, I'm going to journal, I'm going to say, maybe I want to read more books. Maybe I just want to start a ritual in the morning where I wake up 20 minutes earlier, just so that it gives me a little bit more calming time and not that rush to get out the door. So these are the things that you can really think about, take time to consider, and it doesn't have to be at any particular time or day. It's just whatever works for you. I also want you to think positive, the power of positivity. It is amazing how much research has been done on the power of positive thinking. So having a healthy lifestyle and having healthy foods in our diets, that plays onto your mental health as well. If you have sort of some heavier foods and you sort of feel sluggish, well, that's probably related somehow. Those foods kind of sit in your body, they're slower to digest, so you don't really feel light and you're kind of sluggish. Whereas when you eat the healthier foods and, they might be filling and yes, and very nourishing, but you tend to feel lighter and you kind of have a little bit more pep in your step. So those are sort of the positive ways that you can help yourself as well, making sure the foods you're eating are positive to your body as well. Getting enough sleep is important also. Recommended 6 to 9 hours. I mean, I'm not sure how many people can actually legitimately say they get 6 to 9 hours. I know there's plenty of nights I do not, and I admit that, but it does play into your mental attitude and your positivity if it's on a regular basis that you're not getting enough sleep. And everybody is different. Everybody has a different amount of sleep that they really do need. But it is important so that your brain kind of gets that downtime, your whole body relaxes, you're not sort of on overdrive and, burning the candle at both ends. So it's very important for physical and mental health to have enough sleep. Clearly, surrounding yourself with positive people is important as well. Somebody who tends to be more optimistic, tends to help encourage others, tends to always look on the brighter side. Sometimes it can be unreasonable, but for the most part, if that person is realistic with their positivity, then it also might, come on to whoever they're surrounded by. So if you're the positive person, you hope to give a little bit more of that positivity and happy outlook on life to those that are surrounding you as well. Try to make sure as you're going throughout your day, celebrate the small things, celebrate those little successes. You know what? Did you get to work on time? Because I know sometimes I drive to work and all of a sudden the road is closed. And now it's backlogging me. And then I had to be here at this time and there at that time. And, we have our routine and it sort of gets stressful sometimes. But if I made it to work on time, that's a success. Great. That's a great way to start the day. How about maybe, thinking about something interesting or funny that happened throughout the day and just sort of reflecting on that. Celebrate that. That was a good thing. Not always bad things happening in every day. There's plenty of things that we can, check off the list as being a power of positivity. Looking at a task that maybe you've been waiting to sort of get done and, yesterday didn't work because it got dark and you just didn't feel like doing anything, because that's how I am. By the time the sun sets, I just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. But the, task that maybe you had written down that you wanted to make sure by Wednesday is accomplished, do a little bit each day. And then, be happy that those things got checked off. So another way to get started in your day, start with the best morning you can have. A simple stretching routine before you even get out of bed just helps circulation, helps digestion, helps letting that digestive tract move throughout the day. We can all start our day, having just our muscles sort of relaxed instead of very tight. I tend to also be somebody who I sleep a lot like this, like with my shoulder up to my neck. And when I wake up in the morning, that extra little shoulder rub or, sort of stretching all the muscles that have been tightened because of that, really help keep you in balance. I also love the Welcome the Sun. I recently downloaded an app on my phone because I have noticed how much the time change has affected my waking up in the morning. Having 2 kids that need to get off at school and we are getting up before dawn, it's a lot more tiring of a morning than the days where the sun's already up. So I downloaded this app and it basically, lights your phone up because I have my phone charging next to me. It's off and I have all like alarms other than my alarm clock, but I have everything else turned off so nobody can text me or anything in the middle of the night. But the app itself is the only thing that is allowed to work, and it brightens the room slowly for about 20 minutes prior to my actual alarm. So your body naturally sees that, and it is sort of a sign for it to say, okay, it's time to wake up. And it's a nice, gentle way of waking up. There's alarm clocks that are the same way. And if you're somebody who really needs like the aggressive sort of alarm, well, then I can appreciate that as well. But some of these things are just healthy, new things that you can sort of use to help brighten your day, figuratively and literally, so that you can start your day right, get that stretching routine in, and then breakfast. We say breakfast, but it really is breaking the fast. You have now fasted for hopefully 8 to 9 hours. So you're breaking your fast and you've slept and your slumber has lasted 8 to 9 hours, and you probably didn't eat the moment you went to bed. So a few hours prior to that. So you want to make sure that the food you're eating next is fuel. You need fuel and the proper nourishment to go throughout your day. Just grabbing, something quick, a roll with butter. I know, that's delicious. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the best nourishment. Maybe getting an egg or some fruit or vegetables in there is more nourishing for your body. I always try to say to the little ones when we work with the young groups that, you can't put soda in a car and expect it to work. You have to put the right fuel. So we need the right fuel as well. And we need to make sure that that particular meal from the longest fast of the day is a very nourishing and healthy one. Hydration. Helping out your health here, hydration. I cannot say it enough. Hydration affects everything. You can be dehydrated and your heart can go like wonky and give you a high heart rate. Your respiration can go off, and I've seen it firsthand. So hydration. It is important to make sure that although the summer months, it's easy to remember when we need to drink because it's hot and we're hot. But the winter months, it's also very important. So if you're a coffee or a tea drinker, I'm 100% on board with that. I love my cup of tea. However, it can be dehydrating, especially if it's caffeinated. So make sure you're also having extra water or a decaffeinated tea or decaffeinated coffee if you need that. That will count as a hydration. I have here, a sparkling water that I like to drink. That's just purely, a seltzer, and that's hydration as well. But having something without caffeine and without sugar is the best way to have hydration. Maybe one of the things we're going to resolve to is have a little extra glass or 2 of water a day. I have, my mug of decaf tea right here, and you can really combat any extra fatigue or sluggishness normally around 3:30 in the afternoon. When maybe I'm not presenting, I get that slump of the day and I get kind of like, oh, I'm so tired, but I'm really not. I've noticed if I've kind of start building up my hydration from about lunchtime till about that 3:15, I have more energy. So I try to say to everybody, I'm not just talking the talk to tell you what to do. I'm walking the walk with you. So I know for a fact hydration is important for our bodily systems to function properly, not just our digestion, but our circulatory and our respiratory. All of our body functions are important to have the proper hydration. If you are properly hydrated, you can focus. You can kind of, concentrate on whatever task you're working on and make sure that your brain isn't kind of like going everywhere because you're properly hydrated. Improving your mood, And also that sleep again, you will, if you're properly hydrated, you'll have a better night's sleep, and the quality will be better off than one if you aren't. And you can probably notice that yourself, which maybe you didn't think about that it was related to hydration or, proper nutrition. We just think, oh, I just had a terrible night's sleep. But sometimes if you go back and think about the day or the day prior, what sort of you ate and drank, you're like, oh, but then on the days that you had wonderful nutrition and properly hydrated, you realize you do sleep better. You get a little exercise, you kind of had that pep in your step, so it helps your sleep be a better sleep as well. So the next thing tends to be a very big resolution is to move more, is to get out and exercise. However, I am just asking that we all move a little bit more each day. That makes a big difference. It doesn't have to be this strenuous workout where you go to the gym for 3 or 4 hours. It doesn't have to be, a brand new, set of equipment that you use. If you just get up and walk around every 3 to 5 minutes, every 45 to 60 minutes. So about once an hour, if you walk around for about 5 minutes and stretch your muscles, do just sort of like what we were saying in the morning, kind of do those stretches, walk, even if you're in your home, just do a couple circles, do some stretches, maybe some lunges, do some arm raises, things like that, get everything moving. That will make a big difference, not only in your blood flow, just getting that circulation going, but also in your energy levels as well. Because as we sit, and unfortunately, sometimes with our jobs and things, or even just reading a book, as much as it's me time, we're sitting reading a book, not moving. So our bodies sort of get stagnant. So it's important to sort of get up and let everything sort of get all the juices flowing again. And then you can go back to that activity in about 5 minutes. And that will make a huge difference as well. Maybe challenge yourself to a new activity. Maybe you've always wanted to, I don't know, go snowshoeing. Unfortunately, in my area, Joanne got a lot of snow. I did not yesterday. She's in South and I am more North, but maybe something like that, enjoying the snowfall. Maybe it's, just getting out for a brisk walk every day. Maybe it's riding a bike and getting yourself a new, routine of using the bike that you've had for years and it just doesn't get used, but I just want to do that. So try a new activity, or maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you want to take up Tai Chi or anything that either you go to in person or you have plenty of opportunities now between TV programs, the computer, your phones, everything that is on there to create, sort of look up any new activity. There's a multitude of things that you can look up and have at your fingertips. Also, being active actually decreases your risk for heart disease as well, and type 2 diabetes, and even some cancers. So essentially, we're hoping that by being a little bit more active, by having a healthier lifestyle, healthier eating, making sure we're hydrated properly, then we will potentially be living a longer, healthier life. Positive intentions. The power, again, everything is possible. Do something every day that makes you happy. If it makes you happy to sit and have a cup of tea in the morning and just enjoy and take in the sunrise, or, listen to the birds chirping and watch the day begin, just do something that makes you happy. If it's the end of the night that you like to sit and read a book and just have quiet and calm, do that if it makes you happy. Whatever that is, maybe it's running around and getting errands done, and as much as that can be a little chaotic, it makes you happy because you can check it off the list. So do the things that make you happy and set your intention to do so just for the day. It doesn't have to be 10 tasks in one day. It can be one task for 10 days. Just sort of appreciate that moment that gives you the happiness. No negativity as much as you can. I know there's negativity in the world. I know that we're dealing with very impossible situations and issues going on in all of our lives, whatever they may be, but try to appreciate the good things as well. Don't negative self-talk yourself. That would be, oh, I can't do that. I'm too old. I can't do that. I'm not in good health. I can't do that. I'm so inflexible. There's no way that I'll ever be able to do yoga. Maybe that's your new thing. You want to do yoga. It's not true. There's always little baby steps that we can always accommodate to try to get to the positivity. So Instead of, I can't do that, I'm, look at me, I can't go, run a 5K. So maybe that's not for January, but maybe my goal is going to become April. I want to run a 5K. So today I'm going to start with a 20-minute walk. Tomorrow, maybe it's 20 minutes also. Maybe I'm tired and I only want to do 15, but every day I'm going to make that my goal be hit a little bit more and more, so that come April, when I want to do the 5K, I'm going to be at that point jogging or running. And even if I walk the 5K, at least I did it. Or, I want to knit a scarf. I don't know how to knit. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to either teach myself, because as I said, everything's at our fingertips and we can look it up, or I'm going to ask, my mother to teach me how to knit, because she's been doing it for years and I just never took it up. So we're going to sit together maybe once, twice a week, and she's going to teach me how to knit. And I'm going to be patient, because sometimes I'm not very patient with those things. I like, more immediate gratification, but that might be my resolution. I'm going to be patient with this task because it's just not good for me. It doesn't affect you at all. It's not good for me if I'm impatient with myself. So these are the sort of things you have to frame your attitude around, be encouraging to yourself and others, and try to sort of take a few moments in the day to sort of have that calm, have that meditation, keep your mind focused. And meditation doesn't always have to be the very, typical, we have to sit quietly and meditate. It could be a walk. That could be your meditation. Your meditation could be journaling. It could be just something calming, soothing, quieting. And that way, just sitting and breathing, taking many of our, breathing exercises and sort of refocusing our body and allowing that meditative state come to you. And then you can sort of move about your day and have that positive intention as well. Snacking. Sometimes I feel like snacks, the word, gets sort of a bad reputation. Snacks are important throughout the day. We have 3 meals a day, yes, but it's actually great for your body to eat about 6 small meals a day. So you start with a small breakfast. It doesn't have to be this giant, everything involved in one plate sort of breakfast. It could just be an egg, a piece of toast, a piece of fruit, maybe a cup of milk, something like that. And then you have a snack around 10:30, and the snack can be healthy snack. It doesn't have to be junk food. That's where I think the negative connotation of snacks comes into the world. When we talk to, especially our young kids, they'll say snacks. I'm only allowed to have snacks when I do something good or I eat all my peas or something. No, a snack can be an apple with some peanut butter on the side. A snack could be, the snap peas with hummus. Both of those snacks are high protein. It gives you a nice satisfying crunch. They both have a good hydration level to them, the snap peas and the apple, and extra fiber for your digestive tract as well. So you'll feel really good about eating that snack, because now you have a little extra energy to go about whatever it was you were working on. Maybe grabbing a handful of heart healthy nuts. And I say heart healthy because the, sugar candy coated nuts, not so healthy, even though it might be a candy coated walnut or something of the sort, but it's not as healthy as a handful of our, low sodium, you have almonds, walnuts, peanuts, whatever your favorite nut is. They're generally very healthy, and they're great for your brain. Lots of omega-3s to help your brain, your immune health. We're all very concerned about our immune systems right now, so that's really good for us to have. That little extra crunch, if you're looking for that crunchy, salty sort of, snack, great. And these all can also potentially help reduce your heart disease risk as well. Sometimes you need a sweet. You just need something sweet. Maybe make a trail mix if you can of a whole grain cereal, some nuts, dried fruit for your sweetness, and even some chocolate. I'm going to say choose dark chocolate because that is a healthier chocolate choice. And the antioxidants that you'll find in all of those little trail mix items are very good for your brain and your body overall to help fight off certain illnesses and diseases. And those nutrients are very good for your energy levels as well. Ecotherapy. What is ecotherapy? Ecotherapy, Joanne, you know best. Ecotherapy is simply being outside, and you use it as a therapy. Joanne is well versed in this area. If you have anything to include here, let me know, just chime in. But this really has been something I personally love. I didn't really ever think of it as a therapy. I just like being outside. I always have liked being outside, but it reduces your stress level. I will take, our office here has a big fountain outside. I will just go take a walk sometimes if I just need to step away, and I take a walk for 10 minutes. I get outside, and it is amazing how you feel just coming back after that 10 minutes of fresh air, even on a frigidly cold day like today. You just bundle up and get that sort of rejuvenating effect. I often will sit at the bench and just watch the fountains that we have, listen to the birds, watch the birds playing on the ground, listening to the sounds, what is going on, and just sort of soaking it all in and letting that be my meditative moment. I don't sit and just sit quietly oftentimes and meditate, but that is my meditation, and just listening to the world around me and taking it and not thinking about what's sitting back here on my desk. I'm thinking about what's happening right there in that moment, listening to myself breathe and taking that in. Reducing blood pressure and stress is phenomenal as what it can do, but then improving your mood and making you just be a better person in and of that itself, just for yourself. Even if nobody was bothering you or stressing you out, it just makes you feel better. Joanne, do you have anything to add? Did I cover that? Or, is there any other suggestions you have?
No, you really covered it well. I think we can't underestimate the value of ecotherapy, because it gives your brain something else to do, to focus on for even a few minutes. It only takes a few minutes, like you said, and then you're easy to go back and refocus on your work or whatever you have to do. It really can make a difference in your day.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, I never really thought of it as a therapy until we were working on it, a year and a half ago or something. And I realized, wow, that is my therapy. That is my meditation. I love that. So it was something new to me, and I resolved to do that more often than I even do now. So that is something that I want to continue to do. Making meal changes manageable. We got to eat healthier. Oh, the holidays, I had such terrible, meals, and we ate all the good stuff. Well, the good stuff can still be healthy. We can just make small adjustments to our eating habits. We love a good Taco Tuesday in our house. Love it. But sometimes I make fish Taco Tuesday. Or, we try to incorporate more fish and seafood into our meals, and maybe having some scallops, and trying to go to your local fishmonger to really sort of help the local farmers. It will be more readily available, especially, if it's whatever fish is in season at that time, and substituting it in with a meal. I love the idea of taking crab or salmon and making burgers out of it instead of, we always used to think, oh, turkey burgers are the healthier version of a hamburger. But now you can do anything with these foods, and you can make a crab cake as a burger. You can make the salmon cakes using your pasta as a base, or even a bed of rice or a bed of salad, and adding in some different seafoods and have more fish in your diet will give you many, many, many more antioxidants, nutrients, omega-3s, all good for your nervous health, your brain health, your central system, all of your systems, your overall health, and fighting off certain illnesses, keeping your immune system healthy as well. Very critical from our fish, and having different fish and different seafoods in our diet. Having some of those cold water fishes like tuna, and, all the good healthy fats and salmon, things like that, very good for us as well. Not to overdo it, but just getting maybe 2-3 servings with a total of about 8 ounces a week. 8 ounces of fish is not, a huge amount of fish. So even if you had that twice a week, so you had 4 ounces one day, 4 ounces another, you're talking, sort of generally, maybe the size of a deck of cards if it's a thick steak, or the size of like a checkbook if it's a thinner sort of fish. And it's super healthy for you. And some fishes really don't have that fishy flavor. I don't particularly love that fishy flavor, but if you pick even some sort of white flaky fish, and you're able to put whatever seasoning and things on it, it is delicious, and it will take on that flavor. It will really taste just like however you choose to have it. So be mindful of your mental health. This picture here is our friend Joanne doing one of our programs she does on laughter. It's so great because honestly, you know, we've heard for many years, laughter is the best medicine. Laughter, laughter, laughter. It truly is. Not only is it medicine in just laughing, but Joanne has done plenty of programs where we've talked about laughing and having it be an actual physical exercise because it works your lungs, it works your body, and you feel really good after it, because you're forcing yourself to laugh, but it actually ends up being really funny. You know, one of the days that we did it, my husband was videotaping me doing it, which ended up being really funny. And we went back and just kept laughing about it because I looked really silly and funny. But it was just my kids were having a great time with it. It was laughter is not only contagious, but it actually is physically good for our bodies as well. So making that time for yourself, watching a funny movie, sitting and talking with, you know, your family and friends. I just told, you know, earlier this morning, I told our colleagues here that we happened to have a funeral yesterday and it was sad, and you know, but we got together afterwards and we laughed and we just told stories and we just were having, you know, the 1 hour we were going to sit together turned into 3 4 hours because we were just laughing and having a good time together, and that's therapeutic and that's good for mental health and physical health as well. So those times that we can really engage with our family and friends, are really important, even if it's through a Zoom, if we can't get together physically, or, you know, a phone call. Having that extra time together is really important for our mental health as well. Having that time, maybe if you can get together, try to plan like a potluck sort of party. Encourage everyone to get together. If you have little children, have them be creative, have them bake something, do something together. I think in the last year and a half to 2 years, because a lot of us have been, you know, sort of isolating ourselves to stay healthy, sometimes that's hard to get back to. But if you can't physically be together, we have so many ways, just like this Zoom, to see each other and really have that same sort of face-to-face interaction and doing things together as well. So it's really great. Maybe play a card game together. If you've got family around the country or around the world, even at this point, you can set up a Zoom playing, if as long as everybody has the same card game, you know, you can do something along those lines as well. So it's really, again, being mindful of that mental health, having those times to calm when you need them and have that meditative practice, but also having those times of excitement in a good way, being in the moment and just loving what's happening and having that lighthearted laughter is really important as well. So the good old saying, you are what you eat. If you make healthier choices, you will feel healthier as well. I always like to tell, again, my young crew, you know, if you eat some unhealthy kind of junky foods, you feel sort of junky as well. If you eat that, you know, salad, you feel lighter after you eat the salad, because as long as it wasn't, you know, covered in a whole lot of heavy kind of foods, your body responds to what you're eating, and it will use the nutrition that it needs to keep you active and keep your energy levels up. But it's also important that if you can find a little bit of ways to sort of interject, you know, a little bit of extra healthy options as well. So one thing we did a month or two ago, I was making a pot of chili and I decided, you know what? We did a little extra vitamin in this pot of chili, and I made turkey chili and I added beans and I had lots of tomatoes. And so it was pretty healthy, but I added a can of pumpkin puree, and the pumpkin puree was not the pumpkin pie puree with all the spices and everything in it, but you can actually use that as well. And I just put it in there, and all it did was two things. One, it made my chili a little thicker because it was kind of on the thin side. And then secondly, it added extra nutrients and vitamins, and nobody could tell a difference because I had flavored it with everything else. Pureed pumpkin really doesn't have much flavor at all. So unless you know you're looking for it, it's really hard to determine the taste there. I also, you know, started to do things like adding beans to our salad, maybe getting chickpeas or garbanzo beans and adding those to the salad, maybe taking, you know, I don't know, lentils or beans and creating them as a side dish for one of our meals. And then honestly, my son loves black bean brownies. It is, so they're still brownies. I'm not going to deny that. That's still like a, you know, treat. But you take a can of black beans and you drain them and rinse them a few times to get all that extra gunk off of them, puree them up with a little bit of water and make your brownies. There's plenty of recipes out there you can look up. You'll get extra fiber and a little protein, and they are phenomenal. I love, love, love roasted vegetables. And I'm sure we've all had roasted vegetables at this point in our lives, but sometimes it's trying new vegetables in a different way. So I never had roasted broccoli. We always had just, steamed it, and that's how we ate it. Roasting broccoli is one of my I won't actually eat broccoli unless it's roasted at this point, or if I'm not cooking it, then I'll eat however it's made. But if roasted broccoli with a little bit, I buy the olive oil spray and I have that on it, a little bit of seasoning, it's delicious. I do it with cauliflower. I do it with beets. I do it with carrots. I've done it with plenty of every vegetable that I've had. I've tried to roast it, and 9 times out of 10, I have liked it better than any other way. But that's just me. So maybe try a different way for you and see how you might like it. Maybe having fruit for dessert. Desserts don't always have to be ice cream and cookies and cake. It can be fruit. Try slicing up an apple, warming it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and sprinkle it with a little cinnamon or that pumpkin pie spice. It tastes like, if you trick your brain, it tastes like pumpkin pie. Yeah, you don't have the crust and you don't have all the added sugar, but you do have a delicious, healthy dessert that sort of satisfies that sweet tooth for something along those lines. Some other healthier habits: keeping your pantry stocked. Keeping your pantry stocked with the right additions, maybe brown rice, some quinoa. I've been big into farro lately. I've been finding it everywhere. It takes shorter time to cook that I've found, and I add it to soups. I have it as a side dish. I put our, whatever we're having, like a stew or something, over top the farro. Having canned tomatoes, even low sodium broths. You can sometimes add those to certain meals or whatever you're cooking, and that can add some extra nutrition, but also help kind of beef up the meal in a way and let it be a full, healthy meal. And you'll end up loving it, because especially this time of year, something warm and comforting is always important for us to have that sort of comfort food as well. Having dried non-fat milk in your pantry is a great way to keep extra calcium in your diet. Maybe add a little bit to pancakes or soups and casseroles. You will not taste it. It just sort of adds in there, dissipates, and adds that extra calcium for you. The other thing is, eggs are not just for breakfast. It used to be fun when kids were little and say, oh, we're having breakfast for dinner. Well, I feel like we sort of stopped that in our house when they got older, because eggs were for breakfast. Well, now we've kind of gotten back into it. Eggs don't have to just be for breakfast or baking. You can make a dinner casserole with eggs and loaded with vegetables, maybe some sort of quiche or something along those lines, a frittata, and make it dinner. That's a great healthy way to just get in a little extra nutrition and have a quick, easy meal that doesn't have to be labor intensive. If you're eating out, try to pick grilled, roasted, or broiled options. Those are the healthier options. And ask for sauces and dressings on the side if you can, just so that it's not sort of 2 big scoops of dressing on your salad. Maybe you're only going to use a little bit on your salad, because you get the flavor on the fork with the lettuce and you're good. You don't need it totally smothered in dressing. And that's a great way to help reduce unwanted calories and just not really much nutrition in any of those dressings and things like that. But also look for broth-based soups if you can. There's plenty of soups that look creamy, but they aren't extra added cream. So you can even make some of your own. And like I said earlier with the pumpkin, I make a squash soup with the canned pumpkin as well. And that adds a creaminess to it, and it doesn't add extra heaviness in some of the soup recipes that we see, but it doesn't turn, that particular recipe doesn't turn white because there is no cream. But if you want some kind of cream-based looking, sometimes a potato soup or something like that will have that coloring that makes your brain think it's creamy. But you want the broth-based soups because they're healthier for you. The next thing would be to do things with gratitude. Just wake up and say, it's going to be a good day. Doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it's going to be a good day. Start your day with a positive goal. Do one thing that you really enjoy. Maybe, you know what, you've been meaning to talk to your friend for a couple weeks now. You haven't had a chance. Take a few minutes. Call that person, say, listen, I'd love to chat with you. Maybe they can't talk at that moment, but plan a time to sit and talk. Take a few minutes of me time. Like I said, those walks outside for me, that is my me time. That's me to refocus, that help me regroup. That's my meditation. That's my exercise. I do it all. And it's all in one little activity, but you can add in other things as well. Try focusing on those simple stress relievers as well. Deep breaths. Do a 6 count in deep breath, hold it for 7, let it out for 8. That simple deep breath exercise 2, 3, 4 times calms your whole body, calms your respiratory rate. It's the moment you start feeling chaotic and things are sort of getting stressful, you take a few deep breaths. It will change many things. Watch the sunrise or the sunset. Maybe that walk again outside, listening to your favorite music, maybe just sitting and listening to your favorite, maybe playing the instrument that you love to play. Whatever that is to you, take the time to have the stress relievers, because if we start our day with a good intention, life gets chaotic. We all have some stressors in life. But if you take them time to say, you know what, I just need a minute. I need a minute to help me. I need my day to not go home where my face is bright red, my blood pressure is escalated, and I just feel like this. You want to go and you want to say, you know what? Yep, some things happened today, but I got through it and it's still a good day. So at the end of the day, maybe keep a gratitude journal. Take a couple minutes to jot down a few things, what you're grateful for. And it might just be that, you know what? I woke up today. I woke up today and felt good. That's 2 things. I woke up today, I felt good, and I love my dog and she loves me, and it's a great day. And that's the things, because maybe too many other bad things happened that day. But I wrote down 3 things that I was grateful for. So those things are all good intentions to start your next day. You really should never go to bed angry and stressed. You really shouldn't wake up with that same feeling either. It's not a great way mentally, physically, to start your day and end your day. So I would ask that be one of the things that we all sort of focus on. Especially it's harder on the days when they are tough days and stressful days. So that's when it's really critical to say, I need to sit back. I need to take a moment to be grateful and think about what's good about today. And that would help many, many things, and help your body physically, be able to react and comfort yourself in what it is for the next day or the next things to come. So just a few final thoughts. Eat mindfully. Think about what it is you're eating. Is it good for you? Is it nutritious? And even if it's not, that's okay in the moment. But then the next thing you eat, it's balanced, and you'll have, the healthier option later. Have good intentions. Just know that these things actually affect not only our mental and our overall health, but our digestion. If you're not eating and eating the proper foods and having the right things in our diet, our digestion, if that gets sluggish, and I'm sure we've all been there, it affects everything else as well. So you feel your whole body react to the one thing, that's going on inside of yourself. So if you can make intentions and eating mindfully and having those proper healthy options, it will also affect you mentally and physically, and keep everything, in all those systems in check. If you can avoid the stress, try to as much as you possibly can. And if you can't, try not to dwell on the things that you cannot change. Some things, happen, and we all get through life. And oftentimes it's the way we react to them, and take a moment to breathe and then react in a proper manner so that it doesn't physically, harm you. Having your blood pressure skyrocket and having all the body, clenching that goes on with deep, deep stress. There is some good stress. There's times where we're, like I said earlier, the holidays and everything is kind of chaotic and hectic. That's good stress because we're looking forward to the holidays, but it's still stress. So our body sometimes needs a moment to just calm. Having maybe the exercise in mind, if maybe that calms you. Maybe some people, definitely, like I said, my walks calm me. Some people love to get on the treadmill and go full force, and that calms them, and that's a de-stressor. Other times people love to cook. I know our co-host here, Joanne, loves to cook as a de-stressor, and that is wonderful, way to do it too. Know what works for you. Try to find time to be optimistic. It's contagious, just like laughter. Laughter is contagious, and so is an optimistic attitude. I try to say with, all effort to be very positive, but I'm also a realist and know that there's many things in life we can't change and things just happen for the way they are. But if I can have a positive outlook on it, it helps me. It helps me know that tomorrow's still going to be a good day. And hopefully the sun comes up and I wake up, and that'll be my good intentions for the day. Having those extra movement, throughout your day, even if it's not a walk, sitting in your chair, doing some exercises, doing some leg raises, some arm raises, maybe holding 2 cans of soup as, a little extra weight helps, build some muscle, not going to bulk you up, but it helps tone and keep you strong. So keeping yourself moving is important as well. But just remember, whatever your resolution and your new you is going to look like, that better person that you want to be of yourself, because I'm sure we're all good people. I just want to be a little bit better at it. So I want to be better for myself. I want to be better for my kids, my family. So whatever it is, few simple tricks can keep you on the right track, and keep working at it, and know that it doesn't have to be attained in a week. It can be a goal that's set ahead of time and down the road, and that we can kind of go from there. So I thank you all for listening. And these are our emails, both Joanne and I. If there are any questions, I know we have a few in the chat, and I'll turn it back to you, Joanne.